If there is one thing that I want you to take away from watching this channel, it's how important farm systems are towards Major League success. For contending teams, a good farm system provides considerable depth to the Major League team, shielding them partially from injuries and underperformance. Additionally, a good farm system also allows contending teams to be very aggressive in the upcoming trade deadline, with assets aplenty to maneuver with and acquire veteran talents. Conversely, for rebuilding teams, a good farm system could signal better times ahead, with future faces of the franchise within the organization already. However, a poor farm system for a contending team could signal a rebuild up ahead, as there just isn't that same inflow of young talent that a team needs to survive. These farm system rankings will look to give a short snapshot of the team's current farm system before two of the most important events for a team's organizational minor league depth in the trade deadline and draft. Hopefully, these rankings could give a small forecast as to what a team may do during the deadline. However, before we get on to the video, could you guys please hit the like and subscribe button? Currently, only 3% of people who watch my videos are subscribed, so if y'all do, not only would it help me grow my channel, but also encourages me to create more videos like this one for you guys. And without further ado, let's get on to the video. Coming in at number 30, we have the Atlanta Braves, who had two of the top young rookie talents this year in their catching phenom Drake Baldwin and righty AJ Smith-Shawver before he ended up tearing his UCL. And while this is overall great to see for their system, they unfortunately now have graduated from their farm system and no longer count as their minor league assets. Now that they are gone, there's not a ton for this farm system after years of having lower draft picks and being buyers at the deadline. 2024 first-rounder Cam Caminiti and 2023 first-rounder Hurlston Waldrep have both struggled to limit hard contact this year and have seemingly stalled out for a moment. And their top offensive prospect Nacho Alvarez Jr. has not played a game yet due to wrist injury. Meanwhile, 2024's minor league breakout prospect Drew Hackenberg has similarly hit a wall this year in AA with an ERA over 7 and nearly as many walks as strikeouts. Among their top prospects, their only standouts have been 2022's top two selections in Owen Murphy and J.R. Ritchie, both of whom have posted ERAs under 2 in high A as 21-year-olds, and should be pushed into their next big test at AA, where if they continue to thrive there, may become Atlanta's new bright young talent in their farm system, which admittedly is looking a tad bit weak so far. We all know that the Angels love to draft guys who they can rush up to the Major League team as fast as possible. And while this is great for getting controllable young talent to the Major League level, it is not the best for acquiring minor league high upside and depth pieces. 2024's first rounder and top prospect Christian Moore is the latest of these talents. After struggling in AA to begin the season, Moore has seemingly turned a corner in AAA recently, and may soon be on his way to the Major League level as a power-hitting second baseman. Outside of Moore, both of their top pitching prospects in Caden Dana and George Klassen have struggled in AAA and AA respectively. For this farm system to improve, while sticking with the Angels' current mantra of rushing guys to the Major League level, it'll have to be through the international market. Top international signings like Josua Lugo, Nelson Rada, Denzer Guzman, and Juan Flores have to provide that top-of-the-line developmental upside for this farm system as a whole to improve outside of the bottom three. During the offseason, there were some rumors that the Padres would sell off some expiring pieces in order to acquire more depth within their farm system, and by looking at the state of this current farm system, you can find out why. Consistently being aggressive in trades have left this farm system barren, and while they have looked to replenish their farm system through international signees, they cannot replace the depth lost in these trades. Leo Dallas de Vries is by far their best prospect. He was the top international signee in the 2024 international class, and he draws rave reviews from his advanced approach at the plate. At only 19 years old, he's already in high A, and he's holding his own down there too with a 783 OPS. Outside of De Vries, there's also top catching prospect Ethan Salas, who is also a top international signee, and while he draws rave reviews for his defense and is only 19 years old in AA with a pretty advanced eye, there are some concerns about the bat ever coming along. He has a career minor league OPS below 660 and a batting average this year below 200 in AA. He's still super young, and he has a ton of time to improve his offensive game. But the new plan for Salas to be the long-term dual-faceted young catcher for the Padres may be a tad bit longer than expected. This draft and trade deadline will be crucial for the future of Padres baseball. They desperately need both major and minor league depth pieces, and this deadline specifically will be very interesting to see how the Padres maneuver acquiring more pieces to compete in the NL West while still holding on to their top assets in the minor league system. Not much has changed for the Astros since the last time I made these rankings. During the offseason, they acquired a really nice infield prospect in Cam Smith from the Cubs in a Kyle Tucker trade, but he has since graduated into rookie status and is not factored into their farm system. Now that he's gone, there's just not a lot of high upside talent within their farm system to warrant anything higher than 27. Jacob Melton and Bryce Matthews are probably the two standouts in this system. They are nearing consistent major league playing time and have posted pretty good statistical seasons at AAA, although Melton has suffered some injuries this year. Outside of those two, 2024 first-rounder Walker Janik has been pretty solid in his first professional season at High A this year, and I would like to highlight their top pitching prospect, Miguel Ayula, as a potential watch for the Astros down the stretch for them. He's got a fastball which sits in the mid to high 90s with ride up in the zone, and with 45 strikeouts in 33 innings for the AAA club, he's proven that he can miss bats. He just needs to get the walks under control, as he can be a little bit wild at times, but if he does, he can be an electric starter or even a reliever. Top prospect Jack Caglione considerably boosts this Royals farm system. Without him, the Royals may have the worst farm system in all of baseball. But as for now, he's currently a stud and his quick call-up has all but solidified that. Caglione has one of, if not the best power in all of the minor leagues. He hit 15 home runs in 50 games before his call-up with an OPS over 1,000, all in Double and AAA. He's a hulking lefty power threat who could probably hit for 40 home runs in a full major league season. A worthy compliment to Bobby Witt Jr. However, outside of him, there's a bunch of platoon players and decent starters at best. 2023's first-rounder Blake Mitchell likely has the highest upside among these prospects, but he suffered a wrist injury that took him out for most of the season. Their other top offensive prospect in Carter Jensen has only been decent in AA at 21 years old. And in the pitching department, there's similarly not a ton of excitement over there either. A lot of guys in the lower levels of the minor leagues with a ton of things still left to prove. However, Noah Cameron has been excellent this season as a lefty starter for the Royals. After posting a 3.31 ERA in 7 starts in AAA, the former 7th-round pick was promoted to the Royals and has been a very pleasant surprise for them so far. Hopefully, a sign of things to come for this relatively weak and top-heavy system. Over the past season and change, the Rangers have seen a ton of their top prospects graduate into rookie status, leaving a considerable amount of questions as to the depth and high upside of this farm system as it continues this transitional period. Sebastian Walcott leads the charge in this new wave of Rangers prospects. The 2023 top international signee is a very toolsy player. He's got plus speed and is very strong as well, with 8 home runs and 11 stolen bases in 47 games at AA this year at just 19 years old, slowly emerging as one of the top prospects in all of baseball. Outside of him though, 2024 first-rounder Malcolm Moore also has high upside as a catcher, but he suffered a broken finger, and Kumar Rocker will soon graduate from this list after he gets off the IL. Otherwise, injuries have limited the development of a ton of their other top prospects, mainly pitchers, and continue to leave the Rangers in a very awkward spot for the state of this farm system. If there were one word to describe this Giants farm system, it would be power. Among their top hitting prospects, they all excel in hitting the ball extremely hard, led by their slugging 20-year-old first baseman Bryce Eldridge, who may see some time in the major leagues this year. Outside of him, 2024 first-rounder James Tibbs III and 2024 fourth-rounder Dakota Jordan are both slugging over 400 in the lower levels of the minor leagues. 2023 international signee Bo Davidson is also having a terrific season in High A with a slugging percentage over 500. This system is both young and offensive heavy. You need to look for teenagers Josar de Jesus Gonzalez and Reyna Arias to potentially stake claims as some of the top prospects in the Giants system as they move off from rookie ball in order to improve this system. And even though they are hitting heavy, 2022 second-rounder Carson Whisenhunt remains a top prospect for them, pitching to a 3.5 ERA in 11 starts in AAA. While the Cardinals' major league team has seen a lot of improvements top-down from the young players, their minor league system has seen its fair share of ups and downs, and this tumultuous time for their farm system unfortunately puts them in the bottom third. JJ Weatherholt is by far their top prospect. He may just be the best pure hitter in all of the minor leagues and has showcased that so far with an on-base percentage of nearly 400 in his first full professional season in AA. However, outside of JJ, there are a lot of questions. Can Quinn Matthews or Tink Hence stay healthy enough to emerge as a top pitching prospect for the Cardinals? Can Thomas Saggese continue to show promise as he emerges as a big league option? Can Chase Davis showcase the power that made him a first-round pick? And if any of these questions are yes, then the Cardinals considerably strengthen the overall depth and upside of this farm system. But as for now, there are just too many unknowns to rank them any higher. The Yankees, after a couple graduations and a few big trades thrown in the midst, see themselves drop pretty considerably down these rankings. They have considerable depth, sure, but right now they just don't have that star upper echelon prospect to provide high upside after the graduation of Jason Dominguez. Their top prospect in 2023, George Lombard Jr., has hit a pretty big wall in AA this year, although he is only 20 years old. Similarly, top outfield prospect Spencer Jones, now 24 years old, still cannot get the strikeouts under control in AA to be a major league option, with a rate over 40%, although he does have good power. The strength of this farm system right now is its considerable pitching depth. The Yankees have a great development program for pitchers, and it has shown through recent graduations and down on the farm. 2024's top draft picks in Ben Hess and Bryce Cunningham are both having successful professional debuts in High A. Couple that with encouraging appearances from Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, who they acquired from Boston in the Carlos Narvaez trade, and 2022 7th rounder Cam Schlittler, and the Yankees now look to have considerable rotation depth coming up in the next couple of years. Although they are all very young and have not hit the AA wall yet outside of Cam. Among their top guys, the Blue Jays have seen a little bit of success. However, they still don't have the deepest organizational depth to be considered anything above a below league average farm system. 2023's first rounder Arjun Nimmala has had a career year up to this point in High A as a 19-year-old, with an OPS over 900 with 9 home runs in just over 45 games played. He's still considerably raw and young, but his year-to-year improvement has been very encouraging. Similarly, 2024's first-rounder Trey Yesovich has been on a tear this season, with 79 strikeouts in only 45 innings. With time, he should be promoted to AA at only 21 years old and establish himself as one of the top pitching prospects in the game if he continues this run of dominance. However, outside of those two, there's a lot of questions. Tommy John surgery has put their longtime top pitching prospect Ricky Tiedemann and 2022 first-rounder Brandon Barriera on the shelf for the time being. And Jake Bloss and Charles McAdoo, who were acquired in trades last year, have yet to establish themselves as long-term options for Toronto. This Diamondbacks farm system remains in nearly the same spot as last year and is in large part the same farm system. Jordan Lawlar remains the cream of this system's crop as one of the best prospects in the game, who is having a terrific season at AAA this year with an OPS over 1,000. Although he has struggled to get the bat going at the major league level, leading to him getting sent down. He's got all the tools to be a plus player at shortstop, however. Couple this with the successful minor league debuts of 2024's top selections in Slade Caldwell and Ryan Waldschmidt in Single A and High A respectively, and the D-backs from an offensive perspective are looking very nice from the farm system. However, their pitching, while still possessing a ton of upper minors depth in Yu-Min Lin, Christian Mena, and Gilbert Diaz, still doesn't possess a true ace-level prospect among them, which may be what they could target at this year's trade deadline if this season continues to be a disappointment. The Althletics have a youth movement going on, and while this is generally great for the state of this team and their rebuild, their farm system is currently facing a very tumultuous time of graduations and losses. Jacob Wilson, their former top prospect, has since graduated and may just win AL Rookie of the Year, leaving slugging first baseman and 2024 first-rounder Nick Kurtz as their top prospect before he too graduates. Outside of him, there's a considerable amount of upper minors offensive talent and depth. 2022 third-rounder Colby Thomas is slugging over 540 with 13 home runs in AAA. Denzel Clark has a .436 on-base percentage before he too was promoted, and Max Muncy was hitting .317 and was promoted to the Athletics as well. As for pitching, Luis Morales has moved all the way up to AAA with 66 strikeouts in 10 innings with an ERA under 3.4. He could see major league time as soon as late this year. There is a ton of experience in this system, and while outside of Nick Kurtz there are no superstar talents, there are a ton of cogs to hopefully improve this Athletics team as a whole in the upcoming future. This Marlins farm system has considerable depth, but following the graduation of their top young phenom in Agustin Ramirez, and there are now some questions as to the top end of their young talents in this farm system, especially from the hitting perspective. Pitching-wise, they are fine if not good. Thomas White in limited action in High A has dominated with over 13 strikeouts per 9 innings, and Robbie Snelling and Noble Meyer are similarly notching up the Ks. However, their hitting is a whole nother story. Starlin Caba, their top young shortstop prospect acquired in the Jesus Luzardo trade, suffered a thumb injury that will cause him to miss extended time, and 2024 first-rounder PJ Morlando has similarly only played 8 games due to a litany of injuries. They are still young and these injuries aren't supposed to be lasting, but the lack of development gain doesn't help. Meanwhile, more offensive players acquired in trades, Dylan Head, Division de los Santos, and Echidri Vargas, have all struggled in their respective minor league systems and have seen their stocks fall a tad bit. It's not all bad for the Marlins farm system, but they may not be the top 10 system with unfathomable depth that I once thought. The Nationals are not the exact same farm system that I ranked in the top 5 less than a year ago. That farm system had two of the very best prospects in the game in James Wood and Dylan Cruz, and now that they have graduated, there are some serious questions about the top-end talent in this system, although they still do have considerable depth. Travis Sikora, 2024's minor league breakout prospect and the Nationals' new top prospect, has continued his dominance by striking out 2 batters per inning. And third baseman Brady House continues to showcase himself as the third baseman of the future with a .509 slugging percentage. Outside of those 2 top prospects, they have acquired quality prospects in all fronts. 2024's top picks in Seaver King and Caleb Lomavita have each successfully made their major league debuts. Robert Hassel III and Alex Clemmie, both acquired in trades, are in particular performing very well. And international Siley Harlan Susanna, who was acquired in the Juan Soto deal, boasts a triple-digit heater as a starter and has 38 strikeouts in only 26 innings. They just need a new upper echelon prospect to jump back into top 10 status, and luckily, they can do that with the first overall pick in this year's draft. While the Mets don't have any one elite prospect, like many of these other teams around them, they do have a couple of prospects in that secondary tier that could jump up if they continue to play the way they are. Their longtime top prospect in 2022 first-rounder Jet Williams has stayed healthy this season and has resultantly seen an uptick in almost every single statistical offensive category. Similarly, 2024 first-rounder Carson Bench is beginning to showcase himself as one of the better young outfield prospects in all of baseball, boasting an OPS over 900 in High A this season. With Williams in Double-A and Bench in High A, there's still some trials that have to be faced before they are Major League ready, but this start to the season has been very encouraging for them for sure. On the pitching side, while their top prospect in Brandon Sproat has struggled in AAA so far, fellow right-handed starter Jonah Tong has been dominant to start the season, with an ERA of 2.25 and 72 strikeouts in only 44 innings to begin his Double-A campaign this year. Couple that with 2024 third-rounder Nate Dome posting 45 strikeouts in 37 innings with an ERA in the low 3s, and the Mets are slowly building up a very solid farm system on both fronts. The Rockies need to be high up in these rankings for the sake of their rebuild, but unfortunately, they are just not quite there yet. I'm really high on Chase Dollander though. While the Major League ERA is a tad bit high, his stuff is much better than that, and he's striking out over a batter per inning at the Major League level. Offensively, Charlie Condon has been solid. While the home run ball hasn't translated just quite yet, he has an OPS near 850 and should be promoted to Double-A very soon. For the depth, while Cole Carrick has taken a step back offensively from his prolific 2024 stint, Zach Veen and Carson Palquist have both played well enough to earn Major League playing time, and Brody Brett has been nasty, but just needs to get the walks under control. With another top draft pick in this year's draft, look for the Rockies to continue to stockpile young talent and hopefully break out of this rebuild very soon. The Brewers have their collection of upper echelon guys and combine that with decent depth, and that's all that one needs for a quality farm system. Jesus Mate might be the number 1 overall prospect in just a year or two. He's only 18 years old, and while he's only in Single-A, he's looked very comfortable there and has a very solid combination of hit and fielding tools in his arsenal. For some more veteran prospects, top catching prospect Jefferson Caro is just returning from his injury that took him out for most of 2024, and Jacob Mizorowski continues to be one of the nastiest pitchers in all of the minor leagues, with 73 strikeouts and only 58 innings of work. So even though guys like Eric Batanti, Cooper Pratt, Tyler Black, and Brandon Payne have all been underwhelming for the start of this season, they all do collectively provide depth to uplift this overall farm system. It's hard for a team to consistently add pieces to the Major League team and make aggressive trades while continuing to churn out high upside pieces and maintain minor league depth, and the Orioles are beginning to show cracks in a once stacked farm system. Their top prospect is now Samuel Basallo, and while he's an excellent young power-hitting catcher in his own right, he was probably the 4th or 5th best prospect a year ago in this same system. Next to Basallo in their prospect rankings is Kobe Mayo, a hopeful Rookie of the Year candidate in 2025 with a ton of power, but he has since struggled to make consistent contact. Unfortunately for many of their top prospects, they are struggling like Mayo as well, causing them to fall down these rankings. Honeycutt has continued to struggle with strikeouts. Chase McDermott has nearly as many walks as strikeouts with an ERA near 9 at the major and minor league level, and shortstop Griff O'Farrell is struggling with a slugging percentage in the low 300s. Their only bright spots are Dylan Beavers and Enrique Bradfield Jr., a pair of outfielders who are having decent seasons up to this point. But for now, even though this system's talent is better than what is displayed at the moment, they have to cautiously be put down in these rankings after a disappointing start on a lot of fronts. While the Phillies have made some pretty big trades recently, including trading one of their top young prospects in Starlin Caba to the Marlins for Jesus Luzardo, getting Andrew Painter back from injury is almost like getting a top prospect back in a blockbuster trade. Painter, while still being taken along cautiously, has been great this season in a limited sample, with an ERA hovering around 3 and over a strikeout per inning. He should make his major league debut very soon. Outside of Painter, excellent development and reclamation has added considerable depth to this farm system. I specifically want to highlight outfielder Justin Crawford and pitcher Mick Abel. Both of them were former first-rounders who have seen their fair share of struggles at the minor league level. But this year, they're having career years, and Abel earned his major league debut after dominating in AAA. This farm system provides some encouragement that the Phillies can remain good in the future despite having one of the oldest rosters in the major leagues in the 2025 season. The Cincinnati Reds may have one of the more underrated farm systems in the league, and this leads to them just missing out on the top 10 with the 11th best farm system. Chase Burns, 2024's second overall selection, already looks like a bona fide future ace for this staff. He has already moved up to AA, and he has struck out 69 batters in just 48 innings across the two levels. With his stuff, he could be a fast riser and potentially join the club as soon as next year. And for the rest of the staff, while Rhett Lauder has struggled to get going after a strong finish to the 2024 season, Chase Petty, a 2021 first-rounder, has rebounded and earned major league innings. As for their offensive prospects, they have a horde of lower-level infield prospects to provide considerable depth to the system. 2022 comp pick Sal Stewart is posting an 850 OPS in AA this year as a 21-year-old, and Edwin Arroyo, acquired in the Luis Castillo trade, is also posting some very good contact numbers in the same league. 2022 first-rounder Cam Collier is just getting back from a thumb injury that he suffered during spring training, but he provides even more infield depth with high upside to a very infield-stacked farm system. It'll be very interesting to see what trades get made or who gets moved, because unfortunately not everyone can play at all these positions at the major league level in the future. Now, just going into the top 10 are the Pittsburgh Pirates, who have recently been known for their ability to develop pitching prospects, and this has continued to ring true with their newest top pitching prospect for them in Bubba Chandler, who has posted an ERA near 2 in AAA this season and looks to be the co-ace of the future next to Paul Skeens. Additionally, in terms of their pitching, lefty Hunter Barco has an ERA under 1 in 33 innings across AA and AAA, and both Braxton Ashcraft and Thomas Harrington have impressed enough to make their major league debuts this season. They may have built a rotation for the future, but offensively, there's still a little bit to be desired. 2024 first-rounder Connor Griffin has been very solid up to this point in Single A, but neither Tamar Johnson nor Nick York have established themselves as elite-level offensive prospects to provide more lineup depth for the future. If either of them can, then look for this farm system to show more balanced promise. It has not been the best year up to now for the Guardians farm system. A couple of their top prospects in 2022 first-rounder Chase DeLauder and infielder Angel Janau have missed extended time due to spring training injuries, and a couple of their other top prospects, Travis Bazzana and Jason Churio, have been a tad bit underwhelming upon being challenged with higher-level assignments. The only real pleasant surprise amongst this farm for the season has been the performance of 2023 third-rounder CJ Kafis, who has posted an OPS near 1,000 across AA and AAA with 11 doubles, 6 triples, and 5 home runs in 45 games. With the ability to play around the infield and outfield, he should soon see time at the major league level for them. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Dodgers, who continue to find potential superstars when other teams passed on them. Second-round pick Dalton Rushing looks like a star. He's got plus power from the catching position and a great arm behind the dish. If it weren't for Will Smith, the Dodgers would have their catcher of the future locked in. What's more, they have their next wave of young studs coming in Zahir Hope and Jose De Paula, both of whom are raking in high A, with De Paula having more walks than strikeouts. They also have Alex Freeman, who probably could slot in as a major league utility man on any other team but the Dodgers, and 2024 first-rounder Kellen Lindsley, who I compared to Trey Turner during draft evaluations, and he has settled in nicely in Single A. Pitching-wise, they have a deep system full of veteran talents. Jackson Ferris, acquired alongside Zahir Hope in the Michael Busch deal, is a nasty 21-year-old lefty in AA, and River Ryan and Justin Robleski have both seen big league time already for this injured Dodgers rotation. This system remains one of the deepest in baseball, and with Hope and De Paula and Rushing turning into potential studs for them, this Dodgers system looks very scary once again. This Twins farm system has been plagued by the injury bug so far this season, and while this doesn't diminish the sheer talent found in this system, it certainly stymies some of the momentum built during the 2024 minor league season. 2023 first-rounder and top prospect Walker Jenkins has suffered an ankle sprain during spring training that has limited him to just 2 games in AA this season. On a similar note, Luke Keyshaw, a top infield prospect who had an excellent start to his major league career, suffered a fracture on a hit by pitch. And Charlie Soto, a talented, highly drafted righty in the 2023 draft, has been dealing with a tricep strain this season as well. Nonetheless, this twin system is still very deep. Emmanuel Rodriguez is close to major league ready as anyone. Pitchers Connor Prelip and Marco Raya are showing swing and miss up at the upper levels of the minor leagues, and 2024 first-rounder Kalen Culpepper is almost ready to move up to AA as well. Even with the injuries sustained by this farm system, to have the depth to be able to withstand it and still be a top 10 system is very impressive. While the Red Sox have some of the best prospects in the game, recent trades and promotions have somewhat depleted the depth of this system and landed them just outside of the top 5. Of course, there's Roman Anthony at the top. He's had a great season at AAA this year with a .922 OPS at only 21 years old. It kind of amazes me how he hasn't been called up yet. 2021 first-rounder Marcelo Meyer has had a great season of his own as well and was called up to the majors for infield help. And while Christian Campbell graduated, infielder Franklin Arias has had a great season up to this point in Single A and High A to replace some of that farm system luster lost from Campbell. Additionally, they also have Yostinson Garcia, who has shown this season that he can slug against upper-level competition. And for pitching, even though Luis Perales hasn't pitched an inning as he recovers from Tommy John, he was downright nasty in High A and AA with nearly 15 strikeouts per 9 innings. They may not have the depth that these farm systems around them have, but having one of the top potential stars awaiting in the farm system, plus a couple more solid contributors, is enough to be rated well within the top 10. So moving into the top 5 now, if you told me that any of these farm systems in your book was the number 1 farm system in all of baseball, I would see your argument. Each one of these farm systems now has a considerable amount of depth, coupled with one or more potential superstar prospects in their midst. Starting with the Rays, they may just have the best depth in the entire league. And although their star prospects have been struggling a tad bit this season, they have still the potential that makes them highly rated. 2021 first-rounder Carson Williams has yet to get the bat going this season, but is still an elite defender at shortstop and is the future at that position for the Rays. 2022 first-rounder Xavier Isaac and 2024 first-rounder Theo Gillen are projected to provide slug for a future lineup, and have rightfully shown that in the lower to middle levels of the minor leagues this season. And we've seen what Chandler Simpson can do at the major league level, with 19 steals and only 14 strikeouts in 35 games. This depth all around the lineup covers some of the struggling prospects like Braden Taylor and Aiden Smith, not to mention the pitching talents that they also have in this system like Brody Hopkins and Santiago Suarez, who have also posted great seasons up to this point, and they can cover for pitchers who may be underperforming like former first-rounder Dylan Lesko. Next up, I have the Mariners, who have that combination of star talent and depth which makes them an elite system both lineup and pitching-wise. I specifically want to highlight Harry Ford. He's got an OPS well over 900 this year at AAA, and although he's been taken along relatively slowly since joining Seattle, he finally looks ready to handle big league at-bats. Although outside of Ford, there's Colt Emerson and Felton Celestin, who are both in the lower levels of the minor leagues but also ooze potential. Cole Young just made his major league debut, and guys like Tyler Locklear provide very nice major league viable depth in the upper levels of the minor leagues. Pitching-wise, they have the switch pitching phenom and 2024 first-rounder Herangelo Sinjay, coupled with Logan Evans, who has also been great both at the major and minor league level as well. Additionally, they also have 2024 second-rounder Ryan Sloan, and there's a ton of depth in this system. And with a couple star talents on the lineup side specifically, the Mariners are in a very good spot in terms of their future. Moving into the top 3 now are the Detroit Tigers, and even though they lost Jackson Jobe for their system, they are still in a very good spot with both star talent and depth in this system. Max Clark looks like the center fielder of the future for this ball club. He's got excellent defense there, and the overall offensive abilities look like a plus as well. Meanwhile, even though 2023 comp pick Kevin McGonigal had missed some time with injury, he has since stayed resilient and looks to be a great future offensive contributor around the infield. Additionally, they also have a pair of lower-hitting prospects in Dayron Lorenzo, acquired in the Jack Flaherty trade, and Jose Briseño, an international signee slugging over 600 in High A this year. talented 2024 first-rounder Bryce Rayner has settled in nicely in single A, encouraging considering how young he is. And this Tigers farm system also has a bevy of nice depth pieces with high upside outside of their future stars, like Hao-Yu Lee acquired in the Michael Lorenzo deal, Jaden Ham, Owen Hall, and top international signee Chris Rodriguez. For the Tigers to be performing so well on the Major League side, while still having a top-of-the-line farm system like this one, is what gives me immense optimism for both the present and future of Detroit baseball. Just missing out on the top spot and finishing at number 2 are the Chicago Cubs, and they fit this mold perfectly for an elite farm system with potential star talents in Matt Shaw and Cade Horan, both of whom have seen glimpses of stardom at the Major League level already, and with great depth all around them in their farm system. Outside of those two, Moises Ballesteros, a power-hitting catching option, has also seen Major League time, and 2 more power threats in Owen Casey and Kevin Alcantara are borderline star prospects who are knocking on the door of Major League time. For some lower-level guys, Jefferson Rojas and Fernando Cruz are providing that next wave of upside for Chicago, and as for pitching, 2023 comp pick Jackson Wiggins has been excellent this season going up to Double-A. This goes to show the bar for an elite farm system. They have potential stars throughout the farm system, all at varying ranges in their development to continually provide a team with talents. The Cubs are in a very good spot, and you can see why they are able to trade with Kyle Tucker with such a deep and talented farm system. So, that means taking the top spot are the White Sox, and let me tell you, this is a very good sign for the state of their rebuild and for the future of this team. They have everything that they need to surely compete soon. Noah Schultz and Hagen Smith are 2 of the best lefty pitching prospects in the game. While Schultz has taken a small step back from his dominant 2024 season, with the walk rate up, he has still elite stuff, and I am still confident in him and his stuff to be an ace for the White Sox. Smith, meanwhile, has been excellent in his first full professional season at Double-A, overwhelming hitters with over 14 Ks per 9 and an ERA hovering around 2. Second rounder Grant Taylor has posted a similar strong start and looks to round out a future White Sox rotation that looks very solid. Offensively, they look great as well. While Colson Montgomery has continued to struggle a little bit offensively, Kyle Teal and Braden Montgomery, both acquired in the Garrett Crochet trade, look to be offensive cornerstones for this ball club. No other team has this many star, if not superstar talents, which is why I love this White Sox system. So while this season, and maybe even the season after, may be a tad bit underwhelming, what they are brewing underneath is nothing short of incredible. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, if you enjoyed, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below new video ideas. Also, comment down below if you would like to see a farm system rankings video after the trade deadline or draft. I am certainly capable of making that. Or if you have any other ideas of your own, either historical or projecting for the future, I can make those as well. Just let me know in the comments down below. And without further ado, I will see you guys in the next one. God bless.